All right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans by the fans. As always, I'm Eddie, El Niño Baque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian Dream Bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we dive into the Elimination Chamber. We discuss the state of wrestling and everything that's going on, or better yet, everything we were able to catch up with this past couple of weeks. We discuss our predictions, what we think is going to happen, and how it leads to WrestleMania. And finally, we discuss SmackDown, the interaction between the final boss, The Rock, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. All right, Primo, what's up?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Not much, man. Just as always looking forward to reconnect and just talk about all this wrestling, man. It's wild.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff coming at you. Coming into WrestleMania season, and out of the Rumble, and everything is just quick fire and hits, and of course now you have Raw, SmackDown is 3 hours, NXT is still there, and to try and get all of that in is just So it's a lot, but it's good. We're good, it's good times.
It's good. The wrestling market is looking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So before we get into anything wrestling related, first I want to go ahead and re-thank King Mega for that interview. I re-watched it. I re-listened to it. Got so much good feedback from our listeners. Speaking of feedback, we even created an Instagram page. Now people could reach us and ask questions and make recommendations, and there's also a link that allows you to check out all the listening platforms where you could watch us, where you could see us, and slowly but surely we're building up the brand and everything. So we appreciate everybody's feedback. We're listening and we're implementing. So again, thank you so much, listeners. We're doing this for you, so thank you.
Yes, self-servingly, we're doing it for you. We're doing it for us too. But no, thank you guys very, very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Mega for that great interview. Learned a lot, like I said, when I have him back on, so we can chat about a few more things and break into some deeper details, things of that nature. But yes, thank you to everybody. Once again, we appreciate everything, all the love that we get, all the, the good, the bad, the indifferent, like all of it. We just appreciate it. So thank y'all very much. Please continue to keep listening and share. Please share. Because the more people we get to come on in, the more episodes we can do, the more things we can cover, the more just kind of nonsense we can have while we catch up and talk wrestling. So thank you guys once again. We really do appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to CJ Bambino and Nikki Primo. They just won their trios championship with Lil Nunzio, the full-blooded Italians. They won the trios belt last night. So in New York City Wrestling Connection. So I wanted to give them a shout, And,
all right, FBI. The throwback, going to the Wayback Machine on the FBI, Lil Nunzio. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, well, congratulations to them. Absolutely.
For sure. So hopefully we'll get them on the show, just to have a chat about that and their journey. I'm sure we could make time.
I mean, if we can make that happen, then there's absolutely no reason to not. So let's see if we can work on doing that. That would be absolutely fantastic. Great.
Yeah, shout outs to them. And then I think that's pretty much it. The feedback, the love, we're excited. And now let's just jump into wrestling. I mean, just on the topic alone of wrestling, it's too much product. It's too much.
So much stuff. So much. Like it's and don't get us wrong, we love it, and that's why we're doing this. But it's just very time consuming, with all these, like as I said before, with all these hours that you have to kind of go in and then put through. And it's a good thing there's apps and fast forwards and commercial cutouts and everything. Otherwise, God.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff. I mean, but this is the time for it to be happening, right? Because we're in Mania season. So if there's ever a time to be bombarded with a lot of shows, a lot of good storylines, pushes, this and that, like this is the time to do it. So because we have probably 8 weeks. So
I believe it's April 19th.
All right, so you got about 7 weeks. Yeah, so it's going to start ramping up, especially with Chamber coming up on Saturday, which is going to be hopefully really, really good. But we'll see. We'll get into that a little bit later. But it's just a lot of stuff coming, and so we're here to, if people can't really get to all of it, we can here to kind of give you a quick breakdown and a little synopsis, maybe of what we can, the finer points, the quick points, so yeah, so let's roll, man. Let's get into it. I don't know where you want to start, but I'll let you kind of go off the top, and we can just kind of go from there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about like everything in wrestling right now, real quick. So, obviously everybody had their qualification matches for the chamber. All those matches are set. So we could definitely touch on that PLE towards the end. But I did want to touch base on the Hurt Syndicate and the Gun Club tag team title match. I believe that was 2 weeks ago. Really good match, really solid. Huge fan of the Gun Club and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Like they put on a real good show.
Yeah, well, you and I are both fans of the Hurt Syndicate, the Hurt Business, the Hurt whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yes, we're both fans of them. So I think that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think we spoke about that. But the Gun Club, yeah, no, props to everyone there, because those guys are they're all great athletes, and like I said, me and you are big Hurt Syndicate guys. So definitely happy to see that happening. I love me some Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. But then the other two things that I wanted to touch base on too that I just really got to shout out is NXT and what they're doing. Now, Vengeance Day, let me tell you, I am a huge, huge, huge fan of Stephanie Vacar.
Mhm.
Like that opening match for the women's North American title, fantastic. Like like it was just incredible. It was incredible. She is a true performer. She's incredible. It's almost like she's kind of like stiff, but in a good way where it looks believable. You know
Oh,
what I
okay.
mean?
All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, man, she really, and I'm just, giving her the spotlight right now because, I didn't know she was Latina. She's Chilean. So, you know, what a match, man. She deserved every bit of that title. It was incredible.
Yeah, she works hard, man. I remember when they had the signing a few months back, Shawn Michaels was quite happy about it, and nice to see him push her along and progress her to get her ready to be the face of NXT's women's division for a little bit and then move her on.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. The way that they opened up the show and the way that she won was incredible. It was enough to be like, okay, I'm good. Like you didn't need to watch the rest of the PLE, but the rest of the PLE was really good as well. I mean, Ethan Page did a great job. Everybody's matches were really engaging, really on point, and it kind of brought me back to that black and gold NXT of like when
Yeah,
like
the old
Baileys
school
and
NXT,
and like
the
they
Adam
were all there.
Cole,
Mhm.
there was a bunch of great guys back then. Yeah, it was a lot of the guys who are the main eventers now. Like because those first takeovers were amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah, shout outs to them for putting on such a clinic, just showing that NXT is here as its own brand. So I definitely appreciate that. And speaking of that, Ricky Saints,
I saw what was it, Ricky Saints?
Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints. Yeah, I saw. I didn't watch NXT. I was working that night, and then I was on my way back to the crib, and Bleacher Report sent me a notification. Ricky Starks Saints, whatever came. I was like, oh, all right, cool. So, hey, we were talking about it for a little bit that he's going to be coming over soon. One of these AEW talents that is out of contract and made the jump, a la Penta and stuff like that. So, yes, let's see what he can do. He was very solid in AEW.
Yeah.
He's very. I remember he cut a promo once talking about CM Punk, where CM Punk referred to him as like Rock Light or something like that. So he's going to be interesting. I want to see what he can pull off. So this should be good. I'm glad to see him there, and I want to see what they do with him. Because like what they did with Ethan Page. Things along those lines.
Which I kind of wonder, why the change of name? Because I know in the Indies and AEW, even at that House of Glory match that we were talking about a few weeks back, he was still Starks. So I wonder if it was a situation where like maybe AEW did own the name or had the full rights to the name, or maybe in this WWE chapter, he's just like, well, you know what? This is a new start for me. Kind of like Brian Pillman Jr. Like as I'm just gonna like switch it up a little. You know what I mean? So
right.
Maybe that's what happened.
I also think with WWE, from what I've heard and read over the years, is when it comes to talent and stuff like that, WWE is very big on keeping the names.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he just didn't want to do Ricky Starks because they have license to his name at that point, stuff like that, legal stuff like that. So you put a little switch on it now, and now if he were to leave, he could go back to being Ricky Starks, and there's no legal situation or anything like that. I mean, once again, something I've heard about, keeping their names and making believable names so that they can go on and do things. I mean, with the exception of like certain ones, Randy Orton, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, so Vengeance Day was awesome. NXT. I think my only critique about NXT right now though is the fact that there's just too many stories and too many things happening at one time where it does feel a little bit overwhelming. At least, on the main roster, we could follow the stories, but like they got so much going on in-house and with new debuts of like obviously like we said Ricky Saints and Jordan Grace and things like that. But then you also have a lot of like TNA NXT crossing over. Like the Hardy's going to be there next week for a tag match. So there's just a lot going on that brand, and it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to follow if you haven't been like watching every week, or if you just want to jump in and catch what's happening. But other than that, I mean, regardless, if you know what's happening or you just jumped in, it's pretty entertaining. So I'm pretty
yeah. I mean, you got to
okay
figure
with it.
like the conversation that we had when we spoke about the partnership between TNA and WWE. We didn't, especially vocalized that you didn't want to see it become like another, like kind of like a stepping stone to get to the main roster with TNA. But it does seem like now they're taking these two things and putting them together, and now we are getting, like you said, abundance of stuff, and storylines and things that we have to follow and things along those lines. It is a lot to throw. So hopefully they find a way to kind of tighten that up a little bit and shorten some things and, probably put some stuff on TNA so we don't have to be saturated so much on the WWE side with it as well.
Yeah. So now I got a question for you then before we jump into Elimination Chamber. Do you want to talk about Elimination Chamber and then talk about SmackDown and The Rock, or you want to talk about that and then Elimination Chamber? Because we got to touch on that.
Well, let's do SmackDown and then we'll go into the Chamber because the Chamber's coming up. The Chamber's already set. So, because that's the thing is, with the going home episodes of everything coming up, it's always kind of dicey to do a prediction show or whatever, but still a couple shows left. But with the Chamber match being set, you're not going to see much change between now and then, I don't believe, unless any matches are added. But I mean, as of now, it's like 4. I think you said 4 or 5 matches that are on the card. So yeah, so why don't we let's do The Rock and Cody, and then we'll go into Chamber since that's kind of the thing, and kind of go from there.
Okay. So basically, I thought they were going to open up the show, but they didn't. So the show went on normal. And then like about halfway through the show, The Rock's music hits, comes out, and he's putting on his final boss / TKO hat. So he's flip-flopping a lot, right? But I think now it's more on purpose. I feel like, it was just like at first on Netflix, it was like, well, everybody, I guess he heard the feedback, right? Everybody was like, well, which one are you? Are you TKO Rock or are you Final Boss Rock? And
right, because he came out very both sided on that one. And
like
we said it on the episode. You and I both said on the following podcast about that. So I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. No. And then so basically, he came out very bubbly. The major announcement was that they announced that next year's WrestleMania is actually going to be back in New Orleans because they were in New Orleans for that SmackDown. So 2026. New Orleans.
Major pop, great place to announce it, of course, because it's right in front of the home crowd, so they're gonna go crazy. And now you've gotten salivating till for next year, like so. I mean, they know what they're doing. They wouldn't be the more company in in the industry for years. They didn't.
Yeah. So that got a good pop, but he was TKO Rock, and then he kind of started shifting into like Final Boss Rock. Like, well, you know what? I'm, like basically saying, oh, I made a mistake. Announcing that to you, pieces of trash or this or that. So it's like, oh, okay, we're switching. Okay, cool.
So are we booing him or are we cheering him? Like, what are we doing?
Cheering, and then they're booing him. Yeah, exactly. And then he tells Cody to come out. Cody comes out and they start talking about like basically everything that we've seen, right? Like, oh, they're like best friends now. And on the Netflix episode, that was the last time they saw each other, and they were hugging, and they were like best friends and all these things because after Mania, you guys they've gotten closer, and even Mama Rhodes and Mama Rock are best friends. Posted a picture on the Titantron of like them hugging at Mania and all this stuff to show and build up to the fact that like, hey, we're friends now, and I need something from you, kind of like sneaking that in there. And he's like, okay, well, what do you need? And Rock is like, I need you to be my champion. And he's like looking at the belt, and Cody responds to like, well, I can't be your champion because I'm their meaning like the WWE universe. It's like, so it's like in a way Cody's saying, well, no, I'm the people's champion.
I'm the
Like,
people's champion. I was about to say, yeah.
right. And The Rock was like, no, no, no. Which and this is where like I thought it was a little like crazy that they even went this route, but he was like, no, no, no. Like, Cody, I want your soul. Like straight up. Just like that. Like making a deal. Yeah. So
El Diablo type stuff. I want your
yeah.
soul.
And I was like, wait, what? So okay, so now The Rock is the final Diablo? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
Shang Tsung, your soul is mine.
Yeah. So I'm just
Man.
like, okay, so that's how that ends. Oh well, no, before that ends, he's like, but you don't have to decide now. You could you tell me on Elimination Chamber what your choice is, whether you're going to be my champion or their champion. Because if he was like, if you join me, I could give you the world. I mean, I even invited you to Moana in Hawaii, like the premiere. You know what I mean? Like he was pulling out all the stops. Like he's like,
working,
if you
massaging it,
thought,
like just try it. Yeah.
right, he was like, if you thought that was amazing, imagine when you cross the line and join me, how much more amazing your life could be for you and your family as basically like a corporate champion. So what I got out of that is, okay, Vince, he's doing the Vince McMahon character.
Yeah. When he was the corporate champion.
When he was the corporate champion, right? Against his feud against Stone Cold, which is amazing because I just happened to rewatch that on A&E, WWE's Rivals. That's a good show.
Oh, is the new season of that up?
Yeah, new episodes every Sunday. So I'm just, yeah.
Because I watched the first couple. I watched the first 2 seasons. I didn't know the new season that started. Because they did like a biography and then Rivals and like something else. It was a good 3 hours.
Yeah, well, the other show is LFG, which is another fantastic show.
That's right. I've been seeing all the previews for that, and yeah. I gotta check that out. That's on. They're both on A&E. All right, great.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, so you can check it out on there.
Oh, perfect. Great. Hulu, wonderful.
So yeah, because all of A&E stuff is on there. So yeah, and then that's how that ends, and then the rest of the night happens. You get a tag match, and then I mean it was normal SmackDown after that.
The mid-grade, like C, whatever.
Yeah. So, but to be honest with you, I think the biggest issue that I had with all that was the fact that I was looking at the card for Elimination Chamber, and I was like, man, I don't know where this story goes to WrestleMania, because the way it looked before that Rock promo, it looked kind of like, I don't want to say mid, but it looks kind of predictable. It's like, okay,
Right.
well, if Cena wins, I mean, and we'll get into all that, but it's like you're going to create matches out of the people that are over in that chamber because it's just so stacked. And, we could get into it once we talk about the chamber, but I don't know if the Rock's interference now kind of throws a wrench in everything, or if it even makes a difference. So I guess what we could do now is we could talk about the matches. Let's talk about what we think the outcomes are going to be, and then kind of include this whole Rock debacle in there.
Right, kind of filtering how we think it'll be intertwined into everything that's happening. All right.
Right.
Okay, great. All right, so you said 4 matches on the card?
Yes, based on my notes, I see it's the men's Elimination Chamber, the women's Elimination Chamber. You got the Sammy and Kevin Owens unsanctioned match that was just set on, I believe, on that Friday or Monday.
Raw, on the Monday Night Raw.
Right. And then you got Tiffy Time and Trish versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae as a tag team match, like 2v2.
Right. Well, yeah, because the Elimination Chamber is, they have to eliminate 5 other people first, so those are lengthy matches.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, because they did DIY defended the tag titles on Friday. Valkyrie's going to defend against Dakota Kai on Monday Night Raw. So there's not a lot of belt movement or matches like that. Braun Breaker kind of started, I guess, a little program with AJ Styles maybe on Raw, but we can get into okay. So yeah. All right. So let's do the the women's matches. We can get that. So it's Tiffany and
Trish.
Ooh.
Yeah, Tiffany Trish versus Nia and Candice LeRae. And I mean, I think that's kind of obvious, right? I mean, Tiffy and Trish win.
Tiffy, that's what I was. I mean, you can't unless Trish takes the pin there, and they're setting up a big feud for Tiffy and either Candice or Nia. but you can't because Mania is coming.
Right.
So it seems like it'll just be kind of like a Nia gets bumped out or whatever, and then they just beat the hell out of poor Candice. And no, so I agree with you that I think it's going to be that's the way it has to kind of lean in order to just kind of keep the story moving towards Mania.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. I think for me, it just makes sense that Tiffy and Trish win because it's in Canada. You know, Trish is the hometown hero there.
Right.
You're not gonna like disappoint with that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're gonna dust her off, bring her out, have a match at home, and then end up taking the L with the champion on her team.
Yes.
Like, doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. All right, so we both put that in as okay, the ladies. Okay, great.
Now,
all right.
The only curveball that I see there is Charlotte comes out to like interfere, and then Nia gets the win in that aspect. But I think that's too much. But
yeah, I mean, Charlotte will probably. Well, Charlotte, she came out on what, like SmackDown or whatever, and just sat ringside at the last one. So it'll probably be something like that. We'll bring her out to have her there, get the pop, get the heat and everything going for the matches that are upcoming, and also give them talking points to go through during the match. So
yeah, okay. So we got our choices. We got our. I mean, it's pretty squared. We're even there. So, all right, next match: Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, unsanctioned match. To be honest with you, I feel like we've seen this too many times with them in NXT, in the main roster, and we forgot about it, and then we brought it back, and it's like it's always coming down to the friendship storyline between them.
mm-hmm.
And I think I'm kind of over it, you know.
I mean, that was the thing is the way Sami Zayn cut the promo on Raw, where he was like, "This isn't about you furthering your career. This isn't about teaching me a lesson. You package power drive me to hurt me." Once again, being like, so this is personal.
Right.
And yeah, like you said, we've done this before. And they even said that in the package. They're like, this goes back. And you're just like, yes, I've seen it. Okay, now it's worth more, right? Okay, great. So I don't want to say over it because they're going to put on a hell of a match. But I think we could definitely get a twist in there somewhere. You got to do something to freshen both these guys up because my thing is like I said, I like KO. I like KO. At first I wasn't a big fan of his, and I think he does great work. He does what you ask him to do. It seems like, and he goes in, puts on a great show, does whatever. Zayn is interesting to me because I always feel like Zayn is always much better as an underdog when he's fighting uphill. He gets the people behind him, the crowd behind him, and all that stuff. And then once he gets the belt or he does whatever, then he just kind of seems to always kind of like plateau. It's kind of the same thing of like, yeah, we've seen it. Like, so what are we doing now? So now we're going to back Sammy because he's the face and he's fighting the unsanctioned match and so. Like I said, I don't want to say I'm tired of it, but I agree with you. It's getting. There's got to be something to freshen this up now, which I don't know how you do because they've been in all of these places together, and we've seen them do this since NXT, years ago.
Yeah.
So how do you freshen it up? So I think they're trying now, and we'll see if it works. But like I said, I expect a great match because both these guys put on great matches. Now, when it comes to a winner, I mean, I want to say KO,
right?
But with the build and the lead and everything, and the fact that Sammy came out, I want this match, and I'm going to say Sami Zayn wins. But I'm at like a 51-49 percentage here. Like I'm there.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I don't care which way it goes, but if we're thinking, 7 to 8 weeks away from WrestleMania, my thought process is kind of like you said, the underdog going uphill. KO gets the win. Sammy is defeated. Now he has to pick himself back up and regain everything, regain momentum. So that way, if they do this again at Mania, under other stipulations like, arena match or whatever they come up with, then now you could set it up that way where like you get Sammy to get the win again at Mania, like he did last year or 2 years ago against Gunther, right? For the Intercontinental.
For the Intercontinental, yeah, it was. I think it was 2 years ago.
So
yeah, I mean, thinking of that, yes, because if that's the thing is being let's call it 7 or 8 weeks away. We'll call it 8 for argument's sake. If you have KO win here, I agree with you because the one thing you can do is you can do what they did 20 years ago at WCW. Dean Malenko had a terrible stretch. Then they came out and they're like, what does Dean Malenko do from here? And he's like, go home. He went home. 3 weeks later, he came back. started dominating, started being the old school demon like he was. I think that's, if they do the KO win here, I think that might be the move, is you pull, because you have 8 weeks to set for Mania. So you pull Sammy for 2, maybe 3. You have KO talking smack the whole time. I put him out, and then he comes back, and then we get the build going into Mania. So I agree with you on this, the way that story can be written if KO gets the win there. So yeah, good call. So you're gonna go. So where's your pick though? Let's go there.
KO.
Okay.
So this is gonna be storyline sake.
It's gonna be the split one. Okay, yeah, we can. Yeah, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
but I definitely expect a hell of a match. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, there's no denying that they put on clinics for sure. It's just
absolutely.
But how many times? I mean, I could go back to Takeover to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
or NXT.
Younger, where they're doing crazier stuff, and we're obviously not that they're not good athletes, but as you get older, Father Time is undefeated, so they're not doing some of the same stuff. So those Takeover matches were great. But yeah, from a storyline telling point. I think your pick there is better than mine. But something says with the way they were doing this, Sami Zayn, I don't know. So, all right. So, and then you want to do Ladies Chamber first?
Yeah, let's knock that one out.
Ladies Chamber. Okay, so Ladies Chamber, we got Bayley, we got Bianca, we got Naomi, we got Roxanne Perez, we got Liv Morgan, and we got Alexa Bliss.
Yep, you got them.
Okay. All right. So now, assuming Charlotte and Tiffy are going to go at it. Right. So it's who here will do the Rhea Ripley angle. Okay. So Liv Morgan, we've seen it.
Yes.
We've seen it. I think we're good with it for now. So I'm taking her over the top. Alexa Bliss, I think too soon to do this, considering she just made her return at the Rumble. So not really sure. I don't believe they'll do it. Leaving us with Bayley, Bianca, Naomi, and who was the fourth? Roxanne Perez. Yeah, I do like me some Roxanne Perez. I do, but I don't think they're gonna give her the Mania moment. I mean, she is such a decorated person in NXT. She's held all the belts. She's won 2 different tournaments, stuff like that. So yes, you could do it. I don't think they will. Take her off the board. Naomi, I don't think they're going to put the solo thing on her. And I think with now what they showed on Raw, and I'm sorry, I'm just talking too much.
No, you can.
They showed the Jade Cargill footage of that's going to come back some way. So I don't know if that's going to impact if the turn is going to be Naomi or if the turn is going to be Bianca. Bianca makes the most sense because Bianca's, as a heel turn, would be awesome. And I think you can do a lot with that. And she's been a face the entire time. So I think that would be great. So, but I'm not going to, wow. So then, is it going to be Bayley? Wow. No, my Lord. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think it's that tough. I already got my
pick. I mean, I guess I'm going to go Bianca. I'm going to go Bianca.
Really? Storyline-wise, that makes the most sense?
I mean, once again, it depends on how they want to do the Jade Cargill thing. Because if you want to use Naomi as the bait there, then you can set up a good feud with Bianca. But I think you need to do the Bianca. Yeah. Damn it, man. Damn it. This is a tough one, bro. This is a tough one.
All right, so hear me out. For me,
all right, go ahead. Yeah, you give me yours.
It's between Bliss and Perez. It's got to be one of them. They got to win.
Really?
And here's why, right? Like you said, Liv Morgan, we've seen it. Bianca and Naomi, they have their own storyline already on the side. Bayley, I don't think this is like, she's just in there because she's a name.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to make moves. You know what I mean? And now you have 2 options, right? You have the person that returned, that we've missed and was an awesome champion in her time with Bliss, and but you do also have the opportunity to swerve everybody and give the win to Roxanne. So I'm stuck between those 2. But ultimately, if I had to choose one, storyline wise, in the sense of like a comeback and getting in there and someone who's won it before, I think Bliss is the one that wins it.
I think it's just, I don't know, something about it's too soon. Because I think you can do some stuff with Bliss and the Wyatt Six and stuff like this. Like, so I mean, your logic makes complete and utter sense. And I see it and it works. I mean, of those 2, I would probably go Roxanne Perez there, but I don't know, man. If it's Mania and it's Rhea Ripley, I feel like you have to have a bigger name on there, which is why I'm thinking it's going to be like a Bianca or something. But once again, you're right. They do have the storyline built in because they got the Jade Cargill thing. So All right, gun to my head. Gun to my head, gun to my head, gun to my head. While you make valid points, and I know I'm probably going to be wrong here, yeah, I'm sticking with Bianca.
Now, the only way that I could see that the Bianca thing works is she gets through, everybody's happy for her. As the weeks go, more and more footage or information comes out that it was either her or Naomi that did, Jade dirty. And then at WrestleMania, Jade returns, cost her the match.
Right.
And that's how you start that story. That's the only way I could see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to make it work. That's usually the best way to make it work. So yeah, so that's gun to my head. I'm going Bianca. So and laying out that story, yeah, because then you can. And I was just about to say when you were laying it out, I was like, yeah, because then you bring her back at Mania, she costs her the belt, and then bang, here we go. Feud ready, and then this way also, if it starts to come out, then you can start to turn Bianca heel during this run, keep Rhea as the face, and then
Yeah.
All right, so then you're going Bliss?
I'm going Bliss.
Bliss and Bianca. Okay, Bliss and Bianca.
But I like your choice. I like it. I like that story that we created for that,
Yeah, hopefully WWE booking is thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Speaking of booking, right? It's so funny, real side note, right? I don't know if you saw this on Twitter or Instagram or whatever on social media, but Taker was like, the worst thing about today's like wrestling fan is I think he said something along the lines of like, the fans have been put over too much that they actually think they have a say in the booking. Meaning like we just sit here and talk and think we know the answers, and then they're like, he's basically saying like, just sit down and shut up and enjoy the product.
Just enjoy the show. Right, enjoy the show. Don't try to overanalyze. Don't try to do this. And then like, well, I mean the whole Cody Crybabies thing, like this.
Yeah.
That came out, and they had to walk it back, and since we put him back in the match. So yeah, I mean he's not wrong. But I mean, I think that also helps the product, because I think the fans do want to feel included. They do want to feel involved, besides just being the fans, just watching. I think something like that does make them feel like they're more a part of the show and more a part of the experience. Which, as a company, that's what you want, is to have people engaged and there. So yeah, I think Taker just being an old school guy and just kind of being like, we were telling stories and that's what we were doing. Like now it's like, now the game has changed a little bit. Now everyone has to say social media's here, like this, like that anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
People who watch the product, your viewers and your fans, the universe is huge, and you don't want to see it affect the bottom line of the numbers.
Right. Okay. So now, which I do believe,
I'll let you start off with I'll let you roll with your choice for the men's first, since I've been yapping up like a crazy person for the past 40 minutes.
No, you're good. You're good. Actually, I didn't get to do this at the beginning of the episode, but that's the other thing that I wanted to thank you, man. You did such a good job on that interview, bro. Because you did a great job. It's so funny. Real quick, because I'm a really put you over on this one, right? Because what was good about it is you could just tell that I'm just a fanboy. And if you rewatch the video, you just see me like this, like I'm just listening. I'm so engaged. I'm like, no way, this and that. But you kept your like professional interviewer face, man. Yeah, and I was like, okay, man. Okay, that was good. I was
we got to keep this thing rolling along. We got to keep people engaged. Yeah. So if you were fanboying out, I got your back.
I appreciate.
But thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you saying. I appreciate that. Very kind, man.
Well, it wasn't just me. It was all the feedback that I got. It was like, oh, you guys sound like you've been doing this for years, and it was so good, and the way that it flowed, and this and that, and a lot of other things I heard was like, but Ariel just kept everything on track, and I was like, I know, I just realized that.
I'll tell you right now. So it's a lot of years of listening to sports talk radio, where you just hear it, and then you hear the interviews, and you just kind of just learn. Go from there. But no, thanks, man. I appreciate that, and thank you to everybody who gave a compliment and said such nice things. Thank you very much.
Crazy.
Truly just talking to Mega the way I would if he was sitting on my couch. But I'm glad that it came off fantastic. And thank you again, Mega. And thank you again, Eddie, for the compliments and everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, all right, back to wrestling business. All right, the men's Elimination Chamber match. We have John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Seth freaking Rollins.
Our choice to win the Rumble originally, and then that backfired.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'm going first. So logically speaking, Cena is the right answer, right? Because he finds his way to go against Cody, and now, but see, okay, this is why I feel like the Rock and Cody thing on SmackDown kind of threw a wrench in all that, because my idea was if Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, then you got two baby faces now going against each other, but one of them
Right.
has to be heel.
Right.
So I thought, and this is a far-fetched thought, like they go in as favorites, unfortunately, as two baby faces, but then by the end of it or by the middle of it, someone turns heel. And then
Right.
everybody wants Cody to be the one to turn heel, but I think everybody would really want Cena to turn heel.
Well,
But
I mean, he's got 1
yeah,
year left. He's got months left, and they've never done the Cena heel turn.
right. And then exactly, is there enough time for him to have a solid heel storyline? So I think that's more like wishful thinking to have him turn heel.
Right.
But with this whole thing with The Rock and Cody now, like let's say the Cody does give in and that's the swerve and he does become heel. So now then I guess it does make sense for Cena to win because then he stays face. But then it's like, but then throw somebody else in there. Okay, like let's say if Punk wins. Well, does that story make sense? I don't think so. I don't think Drew, Logan, or Damien are going to be in that picture.
Right.
So we
I
could
agree with you there. I think those three we can pop out of the book
right, and
right
then
right
Seth,
off the bat.
and then you got Seth, right? Then Seth, if Seth goes, then what do we have there? We have Seth and Cody. Technically he's a heel now, right? For doing Roman Reigns like that at the Royal Rumble. So I don't know, man. I think everything has been thrown in for like The Rock threw a wrench and everything, and I don't see a clear path to WrestleMania because the way before it happened, before SmackDown happened, the way it looked to me was Cena wins, then you get CM Punk, um, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns in a triple threat. You get Drew and Damien because they've been beefing, and then Logan Paul goes for somebody else.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I agree. I think with Priest and McIntyre having that moment at the Rumble, and then whatever their program can start there, fine. Logan Paul, first of all, I'm just not a Logan Paul guy. First, I just don't care for him at all. And once again, I mean him versus Cody because Logan Paul is a great ass. So you could do something there, but I don't see him versus Cody being a WrestleMania match. You had that match somewhere before. I think it was like a Bad Blood PLE or whatever. It's one of the non-major ones. Now, my question to you, and it's because I have so much information coming into my head on a daily basis. How long is Reigns out for?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I think I said he wasn't going to be around for a little while. Because we also have to remember the favor that Punk has to get from Paul Heyman.
Right.
So Cena winning, I don't see. I think if you're going to put the belt on Cena again, which is the whole point of doing this, would be you can do that at like SummerSlam. Somewhere down where he can hold the belt for a month or two, lose it credibly, and then ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
So it's Rollins or Punk at this point. Like I said, the favor that CM Punk is owed, I thought was going to be trying to work his way into the championship match at WrestleMania. But Reigns ain't around now. There's no path for him to be at Mania now because unless he beats up Damian Priest and takes his place in the Elimination Chamber, I don't see it happening. So the favor also kind of puts a monkey wrench in that. Rock coming out and doing what he did, huge wrench in that, which I think is great. I think is great because now we're at a place where it used to be so black and white with you can tell who was going to win. And now the fact that you and I are going back and forth and tossing it around with all these variables, because once again, a lot of stuff, a lot of different storylines, but in some way they're all intertwined and you have to remember everything that's happened, because, the littlest detail could come back later. So, I mean,
That's why this is tough because it just, I storyline wise and making sense of the path, there's no clear path anymore.
Right.
That makes sense. I mean, the only one is Cena winning because then, you have him win his championship. But you're right. I don't think he would win. Like, it wouldn't make sense for him to win at WrestleMania.
Well, because then he takes out Cody. Is he the one that beats Cody? Like, I don't know. Like, because if you put him in that match or if you give this to him, the point is to put the belt around him again. right? Like, I mean, at some point. So, but you're going to waste main event of WrestleMania and then not put it around him or take it off of Cody for him at Mania? Like, I thought the clear path would have been Gunther, but Jey Uso's got that on lock now, as we saw on Monday Night Raw when he declared he's coming for Gunther. So, yeah, it's tough, man. But like I said, because everything is so intertwined and involved, there is no clear path, but any story they give us, we'll believe because they've left so many breadcrumbs everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean, because I could also see Roman Reigns coming out and screwing Punk or Rollins.
Or both.
Because of what Rollins did to him and he stomped him through the stairs. So based on that, I'm going to go Punk. I'm going to go Punk. Because then you can figure a way out to do Punk and Cody. Because Punk is, while he's crowd behind him, he can always be a good heel, and you can make that change pretty quickly. My fear with that is, like I said, the favor that's owed, but I think Roman Reigns comes out, costs Seth Rollins, and then they go to Mania to fight each other. So I'm going to go Punk. Final answer.
Punk, final answer.
Wow. But once again, this is because me and you've chopped 3 off so fast.
Yeah.
You know? So, but I think, like I said, because you do want to have a match with Rollins and Reigns after what happened. And after Rollins putting Reigns on the shelf for a while, I think him coming back to screw him out of the championship is the perfect way to build the epic fucking Shield meltdown at WrestleMania. Sorry for cursing.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I don't know where it goes. I mean, logic tells me Cena, but personal want, like if I just wanted to pick somebody to win, I honestly maybe Rollins. I kind of would want Rollins to win, because then if he wins and it's him and Cody, then we get them at their best versions. But then with this heel turn, if it does happen, then it'll make for an interesting dynamic in their match. You know what I mean? I feel like something will happen there. Or maybe that's what happens, right? Where if Seth goes to Mania with Cody turns heel, or he turns heel at that moment, and that's how he walks away, not losing the championship. Kind of like Austin, right? Remember that one year Austin turned heel on The Rock. I think it was their 3rd time they went to WrestleMania, or the 2nd time. I mean, it might be the 2nd time. I think it was the 2nd time. It was the 2nd time. They fought at Mania, and everybody wanted Austin to win, but then McMahon comes out to help Austin to beat The Rock, and then that's how Austin becomes champion. I feel like maybe something similar could happen where Cody gets The Rock involved or Roman involved, and everybody's in shock, and Seth gets screwed out of being champion, and then that's it. But that's maybe that's how that works. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, going on your thing, if Rollins wins, I figure you build, you have these guys go for it, and then Reigns costs Rollins the belt at WrestleMania.
Right. Well, there you go. And like by interference of like The Rock, really, like The Rock sent Roman out there because they're all family or whatever.
Some kind of way. I think you can pull that off. But yeah, all right. So you're going Rollins or Cena?
I have a soft spot for Cena right now, especially I just saw the Edge and Cena rivalry episode. I've been watching a lot of content this week.
Obviously.
So I got a soft spot for him right now. So I'm gonna say Cena. I mean, I was just throwing the Rollins in there just as a possibility, but
I mean, personal choice and whatever. Right? Yeah. No,
yeah,
makes sense.
I think Cena.
Makes sense. No, makes sense.
I think Cena.
So that's good.
Because then, if you do have him go and win, then you could have him lose it at another one of the big 4 pay-per-views or PLEs, and then maybe around the time when like Randy comes back, right?
Yeah, no, that's because Randy's going to come back and they need to have one more match. I'm insane.
Right. So,
but yeah, no, so we got a great pay per view to look forward to, man. And listen, now, so I got to work on Saturday, so it's like, man, so I got to wait till I get home to sit down and watch that, which is going to be fun because I'm not getting home till like 1 a.m.
Good. I'm glad you told me, because then I can't text you. Like, did you see that?
No. I was going to say, I was telling you now to be like, hey man, don't be hitting me up, because I'll probably get to that Sunday morning. But I can't wait. I'm excited. Yeah. And then hopefully me and you on some point Sunday, maybe we can get a recap episode in or something.
Yeah, because I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about because we got to figure out now. Because then I feel like maybe the path will get a little clearer, or
Right.
it's gonna get a lot more messy, and we just don't know what's
Well, we
gonna
can,
happen.
we can do a lot of speculation and fantasy booking and all that stuff. So that's definitely gonna be fun. But at least, like you said, we'll have the players locked in, and then we'll see if there's at some point a swerve or a curveball thrown in. But yeah, no, I think it should be a good pay per view. It should be a solid pay per view, and I just want to see some great storytelling, which is Dave Hunter's been delivered in his era, and so I'm excited. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, man. Man. All right, so we're gonna watch, and okay. You know what? Let's just end it like that.
Yeah,
Like
we're gonna watch.
we're
We're
just gonna
gonna
watch.
watch. We're gonna
And
be on the edge of our seats the entire time, like little kids, just mouth open, like that's what's gonna be. But we're gonna watch, and then, like I said, Triple H has yet to let us down. So I think with solid PLE, some kind of swerve, some kind of fun stuff. But this should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, man. Me too.
I was
Me
really
too.
annoyed when I looked at the schedule, and I was like, come on," because they're like, "Hey, we need you an upcoming Saturday," and I was like, and then I said to Matt today, I'm like, oh, no, and then I was like, but
Yeah.
but like I said, we can pick it up Saturday night or Sunday, and then we can talk about it. And then I'm
Yeah,
looking
for
forward
sure.
to doing that too. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, y primo.
Yeah. I know what time it is. I know.
You know what time it
check
is.
the clock. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we always appreciate you taking a little time out of your day to spend with us. Hopefully, you'll do it a few more times, and we will see you when we see you.
Yeah, we will see you when we see you. Peace, y'all.
All right, everybody, later.